Lara Croft, an independent and headstrong girl, is the only child of Richard Croft, a missing adventurer. She must use her extraordinary abilities to travel to a mysterious island to find her father, who disappeared there. Hi, Studio Recapped here. Today, we're going to talk about a movie called Tomb Raider, released in 2018 in the action, fantasy, and thriller genres. Spoiler alert is on. Take care. According to legend, Himiko, the first queen of Japan, was a powerful sorceress who ruled over the people with her dark magic. With a touch of her hands, she brought death and destruction. An army composed of her own generals transferred her to an uninhabited island in the midst of the Sea of Devils and buried her under the mountains. Richard has found a location on the map that no one has ever visited. He believed that Himiko was there, waiting for liberation. To carry out this mission, he had to leave his daughter, Lara. Lara loses to her opponent in martial arts training and decides to defeat him next time. The club owner tells Lara that she has been unable to cover her expenses for several months and has not even paid the club. Lara says she has found a job, and the club owner shows her a note saying if she doesn't pay, there's no fight. Lara rides her bicycle through the city streets to the restaurant, picks up customers' food, and delivers it to them. After talking with her friends, Lara learns about a competition called the Fox. In this competition, the person playing the fox starts the race earlier and leaves a colored trail from their bicycle for the hunters to follow. If they cannot catch the fox before the color on the bicycle runs out, the fox wins the prize of 600 lira. Lara agrees to be the fox in this competition. The next day, 30 participants wait behind Lara for the race to start. Lara moves ahead of the rest. All the cyclists follow the colored trail left by Lara's bicycle. Lara chooses different paths to escape from the others. She cleverly places her bicycle behind a truck so that no colored trail is left on the ground. Everyone searches for her. After a few meters, Lara gets back on her bike and comes into view of the others. At that moment, Lara, seeing someone resembling her father, is reminded of her childhood. Distracted, she crashes into a police car. She loses the game and goes to the police station. Anna, Lara's guardian, comes there. Anna scolds Lara for her actions and tells her that with the inheritance she has, she doesn't need to do these things to earn money. After several years of searching for Richard, no trace of him has been found, and Anna asks Lara to agree to sign the documents that are her father's legacy. While Lara believes her father's money is not for her and does not believe in his death, Anna insists on this action to preserve Richard's efforts. Anna is sure of Lara's father's death and tries to convince Lara. When Richard was about to leave for the mission and leave her, he gave Lara a keepsake from her mother. Lara goes to her father's company to sign the documents. Before signing them, she sees the karakuri chessboard that was Richard's keepsake. According to Richard's will, after his death, his lawyer was to deliver it to Lara. However, before signing the documents, Lara takes the chessboard from the lawyer and finds inside it a photo and a note along with a key. The letter read, "The first word of my sealed fate." Lara leaves without signing and goes to her father's mansion. Lara touches the first letter of Richard's name engraved on a shelf, which triggers a secret compartment to open towards the underground in front of her. She finds a camera with a note saying, "Watch the film." In the video, Richard pleads with her to destroy all documents related to the Himiko project because if they fall into the wrong hands, it could lead to a global catastrophe. Lara opens the Himiko project research package and reads through all the details of Richard's investigations with curiosity. She learns about an island called Yamatai, erased from history, the burial site of Himiko, a symbol of enchantment, magic, and death. There is a document showing that on July 29, 2011, Richard paid $20,000 to a ship captain to take him to Yamatai. Lara decides to sell a necklace she has had since childhood to fund her adventurous journey. She travels to Hong Kong in search of a person named Luren and asks several people about him. 3 boys steal her bag under the guise of guiding her. Lara does not give up on retrieving her bag and chases them down, getting her bag back, but they attack her with a knife. By sheer coincidence, Lara finds Lu Ren's ship. Lu Ren saves her just as the three boys have her cornered, but he passes out from drunkenness. After Lu Ren regains consciousness and talks to her, she realizes that his father and her father never returned from Yamatai 7 years ago. They deduce from the map Lara has that Yamatai is right in the middle of the Sea of Devils, going where is the equivalent of death. Initially, Lu Ren refuses to go there with Lara, but she convinces him with the money she offers. Lara realizes from her father's recorded voice that a cult named Trinity, seeking control over supernatural affairs, is monitoring him to take control of human destiny. As soon as they reach the most dangerous point of the ocean between California and Hong Kong, they face a severe and deadly storm. Lara goes back to the cabin to take her father's writings. The storm intensifies by the moment, and their boat crashes into a rock. Lara jumps into the water and swims with all her might to reach the island. Someone knocks her unconscious, and when Lara wakes up, she sees a man named Mathias. He tells her that coming here is impossible and leaving is even more impossible. Mathias feeds Lara and tells her that he has been on this island for years and the only person he can talk to outside the island is on the radio, always telling Mathias that he can't return home and see his daughters until his work on the island is done. Lara picks up her bag and realizes that Mathias has taken all her father's writings. Mathias tells Lara that her father knew a lot but did not cooperate with them to save the world. Now, all the writings taken from Lara's bag are what he has been searching for all this time. In response to Lara's question about her father, Mathias tells her that he killed her father 7 years ago. When Lara steps out of the tent, she encounters a strange scene. Many armed guards are forcing people to work and move packages by force and beating. There, Lara sees Lu Ren forced to work like the others. Lara realizes that Mathias also killed Lu Ren's father. Mathias and his group move the camp to a location written in Richard's book. Lu Ren helps Lara escape. He attacks all the guards who intend to shoot Lara, but he gets injured during the escape. Lara manages to flee to the edge of a cliff but is thrown into a river while crossing the gorge. The river leads to a dangerous waterfall. As Lara falls from the waterfall, she clings to the carcass of a decayed airplane to save her life, but despite her efforts, each time she steps on the plane, it disintegrates, and at the last moment, she finds a parachute inside the plane. The plane breaks apart and falls down the river, but Lara lands with the parachute and is injured. One of Mathias's men comes after Lara, intending to take her back to the camp, but Lara fights him and ultimately succeeds in killing him. After killing him, Lara sees a man with a strange appearance who runs away from Lara. While injured, she follows him. The man, who is her father, Richard, does not believe he is seeing her and thinks, as always, that his imagination resembles reality. Lara talks to Richard, and eventually, Richard believes that Lara is really there. Richard treats Lara's wounds. Mathias's group manages to find the cave gate, and Mathias gives the good news to his boss. Richard tells Lara that over the years, Himiko has prevented him from returning to his daughter because groups have been sent to the island to reach Himiko and seize her power, but he is relieved that Lara has burned his research. When Richard realizes that his research is in their hands, he is very upset and tells Lara that coming to the island was a mistake. Lara says she will not give up and will find a way to save them. Lara goes to Mathias's tent, shoots several guards, and frees the captive people. They engage in a fight with the entire group. Lara also looks for Mathias's satellite phone so they can call for help and escape from there. As Lara is leaving, after picking up the phone, she sees her father standing in front of the cave gate, staring at it. At that moment, Mathias arrives and demands that she open the gate, but Richard refuses to cooperate. When Mathias decides to kill Richard, Lara intervenes, saying she didn't come all this way to watch her father die. Therefore, she cooperates with Mathias to open the gate. Lara, remembering what she read in the book, manages to finally open the gate. They all descend into the cave, and while walking towards their goal, one of them is caught by a spear that shoots up from the ground. They realize that these traps were made so that no one could leave the cave alive. They continue on their path and, after passing the Pit of Souls, They reach a place where it is written, "The Queen of Death turns day into night, and she must die for life to return." Suddenly, the doors close, trapping everyone inside as the ground begins to collapse. Lara notices a hole in the door that must be opened with a colored glass key. After trying each key, she realizes that 2 keys must be used simultaneously for the light to turn green, the color of life, to open the door. They survive again and finally reach the kingdom of Himiko. When they arrive, they see Himiko's 1,000-strong army who took their own lives in a ceremonial ritual to serve their queen in the afterlife, just as Richard's notes described. They finally find Himiko's tomb and decide to open it. When they do, they see the face of Queen Himiko, which suddenly begins to decompose. At Mathias's command, they decide to move Himiko. Lara, looking at the paintings on the wall, realizes that Himiko was not a monster and came here of her own free will, not by force. She sacrificed herself to protect the world. Immediately after one of Mathias's men touches the queen, his hand begins to decompose, and the decomposition continues throughout his body, leading to his destruction. The man attacks Mathias and is killed by him. They understand that she was not a sorceress, just a carrier of a disease. Richard begs Mathias not to take the queen out of there because it would cause a massacre in the world. Mathias takes a piece of the queen's finger, and Lara fights him. One of Mathias's men chases after her. Meanwhile, Richard and Mathias fight each other. Richard intends to stop him. During the fight with one of the carriers, Richard becomes infected with the disease. The man finds Lara, who is hiding, and they fight again. Lara, after surviving deadly and difficult situations, manages to defeat him. When Lara returns to Richard, she realizes he has become a carrier. Richard asks her to stop Mathias. Lara says goodbye to her father for the last time and goes after Mathias to finish her father's unfinished work. Lara confronts Mathias, who was shot, and starts fighting him. Lara throws the ladder, Mathias's only way out, down into the pit of souls. Mathias, in anger, attacks Lara. Richard, in the meantime, has rigged the entire tomb of Himiko with explosives and decides to completely destroy it. Just as Mathias is about to kill Lara with his dagger, he is distracted by the sound of an explosion, and Lara forces the finger of Himiko into Mathias's mouth, winning the fight and defeating him. The cave collapses and is being destroyed. Lara tries to escape from the collapsing cave. Lu Ren and the rest of the people who were captives of Mathias, after seeing the palace collapse, go to the entrance and look for Lara, eventually finding her. The rescue forces that came to transfer Mathias are surrounded by the people and forced to transfer and rescue them. After returning to London, Lara goes to the company and signs the transfer documents, becoming the heir to the Croft estates. Lara accidentally notices a cult named Trinity in the list of subsidiary companies of the Croft Company, the same name that belonged to the Patna Company. By piecing together all the signs she experienced on her journey, she realizes that this group is led by Anna, the only person who was in contact with Mathias over the radio.